What's going on, Culture Junkies? We're back with Culture Junkies Live. I'm Kenshiro. This is the Great Adakuji. This is GQ. It's what? Who?
Megashon.
Oh, okay. Megashon.
The one and only.
The one and only Megashon. And then we got Simon Says is over there.
Back.
He is back. He's getting over his food poisoning.
Yeah,
Food poisoning. Call it? Food
From
poisoning?
where?
Call it out. Like what was
I'm
the?
not gonna call it out.
No, don't do that. Don't get us in trouble now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, man.
What was it? Chicken? Was it steak?
What type
Sushi?
of food? Yes. What type of food was it?
It was a combination of Mediterranean and Asian.
Oh no! You was asking for trouble. You got
How do they mess that up?
No. Those are two that don't need to be mixed together.
No, they weren't mixed together, but it was like we had Asian, Mediterranean, and then like some Indian dishes as well. So it was like
Okay.
So it was like a combination of.
But it's rice, meat,
Yeah.
rice, meat.
Right.
Rice.
No. I understand that. It's different types of rice, seasonings of other types of meat.
Different, yes.
And did you put them all on the same plate?
Granted, there are other
Okay.
stuff in there. I would. I probably had a problem when I got back.
You got a weak stomach anyway.
You would have problems too.
I eat darn near almost everything. When it comes to fire, that's different.
Okay.
Right? If it's not fire, I'm okay with it. But I
Blow
did.
your anus out, man.
I
Come
did.
on now.
Well,
Wow.
hey man, on my
right.
trip,
Hey,
I
man.
was doing that.
Yeah, the Knicks are looking real good though.
I'm just saying.
The Knicks are looking real good.
Better than the Celtics, man. Tell you that. Hey, man, that season is over. Cavs went out like some suckers.
I don't.
It happens.
I don't
Number one
think they
seed,
went
and they
out.
went out like bitches.
I don't even.
But see, I wasn't even gonna be that harsh. Damn.
Well, I don't even think it was like that. I don't think anybody thought they were going anywhere to begin with.
Some people did.
Oh no, there
That
was
was a
Donovan
fake,
Mitchell. That's not. I think if he's the number 2 on a team, that team will win the title. But if he's the guy, it's been proven it's not going to happen. Not in Utah, not in Cleveland.
Oh, you know how they ain't clutch because like Legend said it. I wasn't even watching when this happened. I was too busy watching the Tigers last night. But he said Spider-Man Mitchell blew 3 free throws at the end of it. Free throws and blew every single one of them.
That's not
choked.
He cannot be the guy.
He can't be the guy.
He can be number 2. He
Right.
could be a great number 3.
Right.
But if he's the guy,
Yeah.
and because Indiana, not a bad team at all, but yeah, no. I never thought the Pacers were
And real quick,
I mean,
real quick before we get to the trailer, because we're gonna be talking about the Superman trailer. We haven't watched it. We're gonna do a live reaction right here, right now. We're gonna watch the Ironheart trailer as well, and then we'll talk about a bunch of other stuff. But Simon Says, Megashon, quick thoughts on this: the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic, and them motherfuckers with a 1.8% chance get the number 1 pick.
rigged.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to say, well, yeah, it's
rigged.
and
it's
then
hard to say it's not rigged,
and
bro.
then I don't even want it to be necessarily about race, but how they get Dirk, Luka, and Cooper.
Yeah, all the same archetype.
Like, how do y'all get 3 generational?
Right. All the same archetype.
How?
Tall, lanky,
Talented.
How? Can shoot like man. It just don't make no sense.
What's up to Marcus A64, Wolverine Solid X? Check. 45 months in a row. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
And yeah, she said Charlotte got screwed. So
I mean,
Listen,
Charlotte kind of is get screwed.
real quick though, to Legends comment, they said
About MJ?
MJ back working for NBC, Holly Berry doing lube ads. We might be in a recession. It might be getting tough because MJ back to work.
That was a real ad because I saw.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah, it's
her
a
in the
real ad.
bed.
I thought it was just her making posting something somewhere. I had no idea that it was an ad. And so if Mike back to work and Holly out here doing commercials, hey everybody, put the money under the mattress.
Yeah. Because clearly it's getting tight.
It's getting tight out here.
It's getting tight out here. Clearly. All right. Let's not waste any more time. I can't wait another
You're really
second.
excited.
Yes, I am. I've been waiting all freaking day for this trailer.
Excited for Superman.
Like this, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to hear
Were
everybody's
you
thoughts.
excited from the original one with the dog
Yes.
coming to get it?
Yes, I was.
you enjoyed that one?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Clearly, you did not, right?
No, I'm just asking.
Okay, you just asking. Okay, okay.
Because you are, I've never seen you this excited before.
Yeah, do it. I'm telling you, I've been waiting for this. Because, like, man, there's so much writing on this trailer. This thing, they got to get this right. Let's do
watch
it.
it.
I mean,
Let's
it's a
do
trailer.
it. Cut the sound on.
Got the feet.
Oh, the sound is on. Yeah.
All right, here we go. A little bit louder.
Again, we'll see.
Focus.
Hey, shut up.
Yeah. You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure. Huh. So she already knows.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Might need the house gift.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Actually, wait a minute.
Playing.
They could be playing role playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yeah, they did fix the flinch.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions.
Huh.
That's funny.
Secretary
My
of Defense.
actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you
Maybe
consult
not.
with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world. More.
And doing good.
Uh-huh.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, buddy.
Got pulled out of a
Eyes
hole.
up here.
He's talking about the music cue.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Metamorpho.
No, that's not.
Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's the engineer.
Yeah.
Your actions.
That was a character from Silverhawks at first. He had buzz on.
Right.
What makes you who you are.
He looked like a Pa Kent, all right.
Yeah, he does.
You better die of a heart attack and not a tornado.
I know that's right.
He's not a man.
He's metamorpho.
He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
Can't wait to see him as
Is
Lex.
that Beast?
Yeah, that's the guy to play Beast, yeah. Nicholas Holt.
Guy with a casual flip. Cat doing selfies.
Is that Zordon?
No.
It's metamorpho.
Yeah.
Whole movie's a flash.
Okay.
You're right.
During the interview.
I'm still not a big fan of that
You haven't
logo.
done
Neither am I.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Now, okay. Everybody says crypto's going to help sell this movie. I totally get that. You know, because dog lovers are whatever. But I'm not even going to go first. I want to hear from the rest of you guys out there, whether you're in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Twitch. I want to hear from you guys what you thought of this trailer. Round robin, everybody else go but me. What did you think of this trailer? And do you think it's going to do what DC needs it to do? Or do you feel like you still don't know enough? Start with you, Simon Says.
Well, since I'm supposedly named after an actor named from Superman, but I'm not gonna say it is gonna do. I mean, like what it's supposed to do. I'm just gonna wait and see when I go out to watch it. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, as one of my favorite Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner. I like him and Hal Jordan. So, also it has like the actual cast of like heroes, which is kind of cool. Like mini Justice League, you had like Mr. Terrific, you had Hawkgirl, Metamorpho. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see how they interact in this particular movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, Crypto, yeah, he's probably gonna steal the show. That and probably the with the androids, Superman that help him out.
Yeah, the Superman robots.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're gonna steal the show too. So, but I know I'm looking forward to it. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna like say, oh yeah, this is gonna like bring billions in dollars.
Okay.
But
So you think it'll be okay, but just not really break the bank? Okay. No,
No,
that's,
I'm not saying it's not gonna break the bank. I'm just saying that not to get my expectations up, you know. But yeah, like I said, I am excited. I am a fan. You know.
okay.
cannot wait to
All
see
right.
it.
Dado, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I was going to go see it regardless because I do see all movies that are in the realm of what we love.
Right.
So I was gonna see it. I can't say like the rest of you guys because as I don't read comics, Superman I think is a cool character, but at the same time, I've never been a Superman fan because the movies where I would have got my Superman from. Besides that cartoon, really, and the one in the 90s. I don't know. Superman is take it or leave it, but I'm always going to take it because I like movies. So I'm going to freaking go see it, and hopefully it's good. That's what I'm looking for, to be entertained.
All right, GQ.
It looks like it's going to be interesting. I like the fact that it seems like they're skipping past what we all already know, how he got here. Yeah. You know, they're going to have some Pa Kent stuff because you have to. I get that. Flashback, whatever it's going to be. Mm-hmm. He better not die in a tornado, like I said. He has to die in a way that Superman cannot save him.
Does he have to die at all, though?
Yes.
That's if it is. I think.
In the comics, he's not dead.
No, yeah, he's still alive.
No.
He's still alive.
I understand that,
but I get to that part.
But the thing is, for me, I liked Pa Kent dying because it shows that no matter how powerful he is, there's still stuff he can't stop.
Gotcha.
And that's a lesson he needs to learn. That's what I think is going on with this whole film. Because you noticed, why should you go and do all of these different things? He needs to learn that there's limitations to even your power.
Okay.
And it's like, I think that's something that was not shown very well, in my opinion, in the Snyderverse, where it's just like, bro, you could have saved your dad. Because he died in a damn tornado. It's like you could have got over there and back before anybody could have blinked.
So
Without
stupid.
question.
So
right.
stupid. So stupid.
What made the Christopher Reeve one work so well? I have all these powers and I couldn't even save him.
The anguish that he had.
So it's like, without that, to me, that's one thing that Superman needs. He needs to be shown. It doesn't matter how good and powerful you are. There's certain things that humans go through that you cannot stop. Regardless of the turning the world back and all the other BS. There's stuff you cannot stop.
BS.
Right. This is the stuff you can't stop.
It totally was BS.
So, like, that to me is what makes Superman interesting and relatable, because it's like, bro, he's ridiculously overpowered. Yeah. He's to the point of like he's a Mary Sue or Mary Stu or whatever the hell you want to say. He has too much damn power. So I love seeing that. Nope, you got limits. There's stuff you can't stop. So I'll turn it over to Megatron.
He's always been cool. You know, like I could, as he had said, take it or leave it, because to be all powerful, but always getting beat up was always weird to me. But as far as the trailer goes, it looks colorful, looks nice. When she was interviewing him, and he seemed to be getting irritated, that was emotion that I don't think I've gotten, at least in the last decade or so, from a Superman film. For whatever reason, I mean, I guess he looks like Clark Kent, but him and Henry Cavill, like they just
similar.
They just look very similar to me. I hope it does well. I love movies, so I was gonna go see it regardless. It doesn't. I don't see anything that I would want to pick apart, because I just want to go into it and enjoy it. And as far as how much money it'll make, I don't know. And then they had the jail. What is the jail called?
Phantom Zone.
So we saw the Phantom Zone. They were tossing him in there. We saw the other heroes. I don't know how many villains that there's going to be, but it looks to be action-packed, as long as what talking we saw in the trailer is all the talking in the film, and everything else is
no
action.
other talking? Like what?
Because they've done it. I don't want to hear them talk. Christopher Reeves talked. Brandon Routh talked. Henry Cavill talked. We know the story. What we haven't gotten was the action all the time. All gas, no brakes is what I want. And toss the dog in there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, I hear that. All right. So, with that being said, I loved a lot of things in this trailer. I love that we're clearly going to be getting a little bit more action, right? And I think they've done a really good job with pitting him against adversaries that he can't just easily beat. Like, literally, they were throwing multiple people at him. The engineer was fighting him. Ulysses was fighting him. The Hammer of Bialia, which is a new a new character that was created by James Gunn just for this film to give him another adversary to go against with that giant kaiju that he was fighting, in Metropolis. And I think, as we've always seen, the struggle with Superman is always, hey, we're going to have to make you defeat all these people or defeat like all of these adversaries, but also make sure nobody dies in the process, right? Like there's a lot of collateral damage around you. You saw him even in the trailer, like, the giant kaiju was about to step on one dude, flew down, swooped out, got him out of the way. He shielded an entire building that had a floor full of people with being, from fire, get the kaiju's attention, basically, hey, watch me. Eyes up here, fly up and stuff like that. So I like that. So he's fully in the throes of, I am the city's protector. First and foremost, I'm not just a brawler and I'm here just to beat you down and don't care who's in my way. Like, I care about the people around me. And like you said, when Clark was being interviewed with by Lois, posing as Superman, he was like, I did what I had to do because people were going to die. Like, literally, that is his chief concern. He don't care about the laws that people say is like, oh, well, you're a citizen, you can't go interfere in this other foreign nation. He's like, dude, I'm gonna go. It's the Cap thing all over again with the Sokovia Accords. He's like, I don't want the government telling me that I can't go and help when people need my help. I'm gonna go,
as you should,
right? So that aspect of Superman I really enjoy, and I totally liked, right? I do feel like I'm interested to find out what are the motivations that we're gonna have, because it looked like they're trying to tease that Lois maybe knows, but like you said, Dido, they could be role playing, right?
Could either be role playing, but part of me feels like that whole movie is being told in that interview. So the movie is the interview.
It's very possible.
That's kind of what.
Interesting.
But I'm kind of getting the feeling, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Before we hit the next trailer, let's see what some people are saying out of the chat. Right off the bat, Legend, I saw this one when the trailer was playing. It says, a cosplay friend of mine from Seattle is an extra in the film as a Metropolis citizen. That's awesome. Wolverine Solid X, I like Superman way better than Thunderbolts. Okay, you haven't seen Superman yet, but all right.
Oh yeah, we kind of got into it about him in the Thunderbolts thing.
If he didn't like it, he didn't like it. But I look at it as, for me, Thunderbolts did Superman better than Superman's ever been done so far.
Oh yeah, with Sentry.
So
we
will see what happens with this Superman. But for me, Sentry kind of got it beat already. Obviously, I haven't seen Superman yet. That's coming up later. Let's see. Marcus A64. So Mr. Terrific is going to have a fro and then instantly have his hair braided again.
I hated that in that show.
That was so stupid. Everything about that was just so dumb.
Bad.
Time to go fight crime.
Yeah, robots do it for him.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess
it's
so.
crazy.
Yeah,
Everything about that was dumb.
Big Kahuna, yes, rocking the Martha shirt. That is 100% correct. Until they wash the taste of Martha out of my mouth with a new one, we'll have to see.
People in my life have come across me, and their name is Martha, and they were like, Martha, and I'm like, why'd you say that name? They were like, yes, for us. They were like, what?
That's wild, man. For real? That's crazy.
Man.
That's crazy.
But, so I don't know. We'll see. He says the spears got him braided up.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I mean, that's, again, Superman has always been that property that it's hard to handle, only in the sense that there's so much that you have to... Turn that down. What are you doing?
Sorry, my bad.
Come on now. We're trying to do a show.
Sorry.
We're live here.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live. That my fault.
Get off
my
your
fault
phone.
on that.
Get off your phone.
No, I can't get off my phone. I'm monitoring the chat, and I got to highlight people.
Well, turn your volume
I made a little bit of a mistake too. So, but we got 7 people over on YouTube, and I'm trying to read their comments as well. They're not feeding through. So, MK Pryor says it will be better than Man of Steel.
Well,
probably.
I mean, that's. I don't want to say it's a low bar, but yeah.
As long as there's no snakes and tentacles and whatever.
Oh, no, you talking about the spiders?
Yeah.
Gotta have spiders. Spider-Man fight spiders.
Yeah,
That's what he do. Spiders.
Spider.
Put a big one in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. Iguana Man says James has a masterpiece on his hands.
Hope so.
Okay. We'll have to see.
You jumping that gun. What's another idiom for that?
Yeah. I mean, his last name is Gunn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's got potential.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So
yeah. Again, I trust James Gunn in the sense that he's a great director. He's done some really classic stuff. It's just for me as a property, and it was also mentioned in the chat, I think by Legend, that Superman is just hard to do stuff with because he's so powerful. It's hard to make him relatable.
maybe that's why he put so many people in there. So that way,
exactly,
the way that the movie is on him.
exactly, because it's we've all seen it. Superman games are hard to make because you have a character that
damn near impossible.
Technically shouldn't be able to die, but you got to have a way to hold him back. Otherwise, the game has no challenge.
Have him fly through rings.
No. That's a whole nother problem in and of itself. Exactly. I mean, Superman Returns for the Xbox 360 handled it in a very interesting way. The city had a life bar. So if the city got damaged too much, you basically failed, which was kind of cool. Okay. But they also ran into the problem of, oh, well, his heat vision's got a meter and his super breath's got a meter. It's like, bro, these are his powers. This is what he does. So I don't know. Simon said, I'll give you last word on it before we go to the next trailer.
Actually, what you were talking about, I did like playing that reverse where you can play as Bizarro and just destroy the city. That was fun as hell.
Oh, yeah. Superman as an ultimate destruction thing is fun, but from a video game standpoint, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And like I said, he's a hard character to write for. That's why that when Dido, you mentioned the cartoon obviously had to depower him quite a bit, but it was entertaining because you always had him going up against like Darkseid and people that can whip his butt. So it's like,
except for when he let go on Darkseid.
Oh yeah,
you know what? Not holding back anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that the Justice League.
Justice League.
That last episode, we said, I'm gonna show you how really powerful I am, and just blew his jaw out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, damn, I did not expect that.
No, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna switch gears to the next trailer. We're gonna take a look at.
One more thing. One more comment outside of out of YouTube from Be Positive 99. Appreciate you being here. He says James Gunn is overrated. Guardians 1 was great. The rest is meh. Guardian 3 is overrated. The last good Superman movie was Superman 2 from 1978. But actually, he's wrong. That was actually 1980. But
I like Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker was fun.
Peacemaker was pretty good.
Guardians 3, I don't necessarily see that one as overrated. I think that was actually really good character study on basically making people feel for a raccoon.
Yeah.
They literally had people sobbing in the theater over Rocket's backstory. So it's like,
and the Suicide Squad was good too.
The Suicide Squad.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's opinion. I get it. You know, it's like some people might not like his style. They might not like the fact that he relies on music so much, because some people don't like that. They don't like needle drops in their movies and whatnot. I'm like, the music fits the scene, go for it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, 100%.
So 100%. So we're gonna take a look at on the Marvel side of things.
Yes. I was looking forward to this as well.
We've got a from executive producer Ryan Coogler,
who's hot as fish grease right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You knew they had,
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna take a look at the Ironheart trailer right now.
So let's take a look. I don't think a lot of people knew that he was an executive producer.
No, that's because Sinners is
they know
kicking
now.
ass in the theater. So put his name in the beginning.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
For real.
Thing is, I liked her in Black Panther too, because she was playing a character that I didn't have a whole lot of.
Less than 3 minutes. The air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
What kind of shit is this?
You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor.
It's a test.
Find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
Huh.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius.
Anthony Ramos.
So you win her out.
This nigga look like Dracula, man.
Like them Eskimos.
Right.
With that wig.
Right.
I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
Now, of course, all the lazy people are gonna say, "Oh, well, she's just a girl Iron Man."
Well, wasn't that kind
That's
of
what she was.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
The original intent, I think, was to do that, but then they tried to inject her own personality that wasn't Tony Stark.
And again,
It's
it's
kinda
kind of
like
fine.
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think she's like Tony Stark in her personality and what she's been in so far. So I'm pretty sure it won't be in this. She's just smart.
Yeah.
Anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
Oh yes, that's the hood.
What will you do,
Parker Robbins.
Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot.
Okay.
You know nothing about this man.
How many episodes is
8.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
That must start next week, then, right?
No,
Really?
June 24th. They said.
Oh, wow. We got
A little bit of time.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see how they can just make her not just be a Tony clone.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
Yes, actually it would.
Crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
All right, so Ironheart, which interestingly, right? Ironheart as a trailer on Twitter discussing film literally deactivated the replies because they knew exactly what was coming. All the racists was going to come out the woodwork and just hate bomb on this film, and you know they've been doing that really since the project was announced. But I would love to hear what everybody thinks about Ironheart as a trailer. You interested in it? Meh on it? Simon Says we'll start with you again. Well, what do you think?
Was this a movie or a TV series?
TV series, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious. All right. Dido?
I'm gonna watch it, but I don't have any expectations whatsoever of it because outside of though I was entertained, if I was gonna say would I use my rating, would I watch it again or would I just like okay, I watched it the one time rating? Most of the TV shows that came out through Marvel is I watch them once and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So Daredevil, I have to watch it a second time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that on the level of. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it the second time ever, but I hope it's really good because you know I would like to see more Marvel stuff. I like to see more comic book stuff, original stuff, where that's what I want to see. So I want to watch it as I watch everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. All right. But you're not necessarily overly excited. Like you would get excited if this was like Tales of the Underworld or some other Star Wars property you're a little more familiar with. This one didn't really grab you. Is that fair to say?
Just watching that, right in the nuts. Oh my god,
that's totally going to be one of the clips. Wow. That's totally going to be one of the clips. I've got to get that. Like,
see how his eyes rolled in the back of his head. Went straight Undertaker.
That was great. That was great. That was great.
I mean,
that wasn't an outtake. That was real, people.
Jeez.
Oh, we'll give him a time to recover. GQ.
I'm gonna watch it. I just hope it's on the level of Daredevil and not on the level of
don't do that.
Of what the fuck is?
He sounds like
Midnight
Patrick
Sun?
Star right now.
Midnight Sun.
He was part of Midnight Suns.
Blade?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the fucking name.
Oh,
Moon
wow.
Knight. See, that's what I did. Watch it one.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I will obviously watch it. I mean, again, we watch all of this stuff just to make sure that we can give an informed opinion about all of these things. I'll look at it as this has the potentially to be like another Miss Marvel. Because Miss Marvel, for me, was a shock of how engaging and interesting that show was. Mm-hmm. Imani Vellani, I think his name is Iman Vellani. Iman Vellani. Mm-hmm. She is a breakout star for me for Marvel because she's fun to watch. Her whole family is entertaining because it's like no matter whatever your ethnic background is, you can relate to her family on some level. Yeah, just the way they are, the way the family dynamic.
Unless you come from one of them,
No. All families can understand a mother and a father that might be a little bit too much in your information, a brother or a sibling that just kind of over. All of that is universal. So like I said, that part is true. That worked out really well in my opinion for that. Yeah. So if they can have some of that type of spark for this. Because who knows? There might be a character in there that's like, oh, that's a good follow. I enjoyed that because
honestly, the very beginning of this trailer, since they used that one particular actor, it seemed like he was recruiting her for G.I. Joe. Based on how the Transformers, how that one, what was the Transformers Bumblebee? Not Bumblebee.
No. The one with
the latest one.
Yeah.
The latest one, the Beast Wars one.
Yeah, thank you, Beast Wars. Yeah. It felt like he was recruiting her for G.I. Joe, like that was a G.I. Joe test.
Yeah.
Obviously it wasn't, but I mean, so we'll see what the dynamic is going to be, what it's going to, how the flow is going to go.
Side note, what the hell is taking so long to get that off the ground? Like, I was excited to see that. Like, can we get some move on that?
They probably got something going on that we just don't know about. Because again, the fact that they even did the crossover as a after credits was unexpected.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, like anything, I'm going to give it a chance to actually sit down and watch it and see what I think about it. Right. And then I'll give my true opinion on it after I've actually sat and watched it. The trailer on its face was okay. I don't know. It seems like they probably could have, I don't know, maybe hit a different
tone.
Different tone. Yeah, thank you. A different tone to maybe get me a little bit more excited about it. But I'm going to check it out either way.
All right, that's fair.
For young black girls, young minority women, I hope that it's great for them. I think it'll be great for them. I'm not that familiar with the character. She came out kind of, I was already grown, when Ironheart came to be. I'll give it a watch because I'll watch everything once. I think they knew what the response would be, and so that's why they put Ryan's name in the beginning.
That's that's fair,
to try to garner more attention. And for me, right, I've been debating on saying it or not, but I'm gonna say it. For me, when you spoke about Miss Marvel, like her culture was there. Yeah. Now, granted, this has not come out yet, so I don't know who's gonna be on the show. But I don't see us represented. I don't see us as in black men represented in her life. We saw the guy from Hamilton, Anthony Ramos. Yeah. I don't necessarily care for him. And then the Hispanic guy from the other show, and then the guy that had the shady lair. Like where does this take place? Harlem,
Chicago.
Okay, so if we're in Chicago, I don't know who her friends are. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
But when it came to other shows, the culture was there, and it very well could be there.
Right. We just didn't see it in the trailer.
Right, but based off of this trailer, like it does, for me.
And that's fair. No, that's totally fair because I think I have some of the same issues that all of you do with this, right? The trailer, I feel like didn't hit. This particular show has been sitting on the shelf for a couple years. Like it's been done for a while.
Yeah.
And they just have been sitting on it. Like, so either Marvel doesn't necessarily have a lot of faith in it so that they weren't really excited to push it out, which Feige don't hesitate. If he's got something good, he gonna push it out. Go ahead. Where
is Blade?
In the trash.
Where is Ironheart?
Hey.
Where was Ironheart?
Yeah, on the shelf. Go ahead, Simon.
Megatron.
Yeah.
So we both saw Sinners. Why isn't Ryan Coogler directing? Why haven't they called him and say, "Hey, let's get this Blade going"?
So to answer that rumor, right? So there's rumors that are saying that Coogler is interested in turning his attention to doing X-Men. So because he grew up as an X-Men fan, they even said that as a teaser to showing this trailer. He was like, I grew up on Marvel Comics. I read X-Men. That was my primary comic, and he loved those. He loved that. He loved the show as a kid. So I think they're not going to throw Blade at him because that's easy pickings. That's low hanging fruit. But if he wants a challenge, do X-Men.
I mean, but I think he would knock that out of the park. And
what Blade?
No, well, either project. I'm referring to X-Men. I believe he would knock X-Men out of the park because you've got so many characters to work with, regardless of creed, race, whatever they are. There's so many people. I think the only issue would be is people getting in the way and possibly casting like the wrong person. But I think based off of his thought process for making Sinners,
right,
I can only imagine him blowing X-Men out of the park. Because if we look at Creed, We look at Black Panther, what it did for the culture, and then we look at Sinners, and Fruitville Station.
Yeah,
you know, he doesn't make bad movies.
He does not,
and he's very methodical in his process. So I think he would do well. But I think they knew this was kind of a
trouble.
So they're like, because for example, I've been hearing about this show for years. Didn't know anything about his tie to it until yesterday.
Yeah.
So, hey, Ryan, what do you think of Ironheart? It's cool. Oh, put him down.
Yeah,
as a producer credit.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm wondering about. Like you said, with regard to how much of our culture will we see related to this, because he is obviously very good at putting that in projects,
and that's something that he takes. You know,
he takes it seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. He does. But as an executive producer, like you said, it could literally just be a hip name credit. It's not really that he was in the trenches, so to speak, getting this done.
You want X-Men?
All right.
So again,
endorse this TV show.
Absolutely. That's probably how it happened. But I'm just saying, just from a sense of how good he is creatively.
For sure.
You know, if he now, granted, now here's the thing: we don't know if he was on set actively making suggestions and doing his thing. I guarantee you this is probably going to be better than we all expect.
100%. But is it RoboCop or is it RoboCop 3 on set?
Right. No, that's a good one.
That is definitely one way to look at it.
No, that's a good one. All right,
absolutely.
so coming out of the chat, we got a couple of things. Over on YouTube, Wolverine Solid X says, I'll give it a watch. It's not too bad. King Takeem says, the main way she'll be different than Stark, she's poor. That's number one. Okay. I mean, and that's fair. Iguana Man very poignantly says some characters are not popular, they can't all hit, and Riri Williams in particular is a character that has struggled mightily in the comics, right? Miss Marvel broke out in the comics, like literally broke out. Like she became one of Marvel's most popular characters in the last 10 years, right? Ironheart got a similar push, started off, and people just really don't like her character. Just the way she's written, the way she carries herself.
True.
They just don't like her as a character.
But one part of that, though, is out of the books, Tony Stark is her direct mentor.
Correct.
In a sense.
That's true.
I think giving it a chance to move to a different style of like, okay, she's on her own, like you said, she's poor or whatever. I think getting to see her build her own character away from being essentially another Tony Stark or the young female black Tony Stark or whatever you want to, however you want to spin it or whatever. It's no, she's smart on her own. She's very comes up with a lot of ingenuity because of the fact that she's poor. Because being poor brings a whole lot of creativity out of people. So I think with her already being a genius level person, that's just a whole nother step of like, okay, how am I going to make this work? You know, so it's I don't know. I'm looking forward to it in that aspect. Again, if we get another Miss Marvel as far as quality and enjoyment, because like I said, I've watched Miss Marvel more than once. You say, in the sense of going back and rewatching stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because again,
have you not watched it?
No, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm just saying because
I'm just asking, man. Asking a question.
I watch them all.
Right, and not only that, remember the area we live in. When I was in school, college, or whatever, I dealt with a whole bunch of people out of that community and that culture. So it was interesting to see. Oh, I have experience based on this just from life. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so I had to, as far as the books go, how many Arab superheroes are there?
She's it.
So
no. There's a Muslim. Where is it?
From DC?
No.
Just in general.
No, yeah. There's another one. Because like Kamala Khan, she's not Muslim. She's Muslim, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's another one. She's the mutant in X-Men. She wears.
He's talking about Dust.
Dust.
Yeah, Dust.
Okay.
So Dust. Yeah, Dust is
really.
Dust. She literally turns into sand.
Okay,
she's a cool character.
She is a cool character.
That's out of control.
And she wears a burqa. Like literally, she wears nothing but a
turns
burqa.
into sand. That's out of control.
Yeah, that's.
But what
there was something racist about it. I hear you. I got you, bro.
But what I was saying is, in regards to Riri, there's Storm. There's
Bishop.
Well, I'll say as far as females.
As far as females,
Shuri.
You have
Shuri.
Full Time.
Is it just
Shuri,
3?
You got the
you got
Misty Knight and all.
Yeah, you got Misty Knight.
So I'm saying
So go ahead. He's naming off.
No, you got Shuri. You got, like you said, Misty Knight. You got Dora
Okoye now is pretty prominent now.
Yeah.
The Dora.
Yeah.
Full Time. Monica Rambeau.
So it's just her.
Marvel.
I said I said photon.
Yeah,
Monica
that's
Rambeau.
another name for it. It's photon.
So it's just her.
What do you mean?
The Kamala Khan.
Oh, Kamala
Like,
Khan.
it's just her.
I mean, outside of the X-Men chick,
Right,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, as far as
Yeah.
the world is concerned, it's just her.
Yeah, she's the most
that
prominent. She is the most
not only
prominent.
That, she was kind of the first. I think Dust, as far as I know, came along later.
Well, she was older. No, Dust came first.
Yeah, she was first.
Dust came first.
Well, she must have flew way under
She
the radar.
did.
That's because she
She
was.
did.
She was sand.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. Okay,
She
here's
did.
all right, the funny thing about it is Kamala Khan, her powers are derived from the Terrigen Mist.
Yeah, she was a human.
Everybody hates the damn Inhumans,
So they
but she's the most popular Inhuman ever, which is funny.
Who is?
Kamala Khan.
Come on, she's a human.
Yeah.
She's
More
an Inhuman.
popular than Black Bolt
Yeah,
Yes, dude.
in the comics, or as far as the world goes?
as far as the world goes.
Oh, because that makes sense. Because Black Bolt technically is another white guy.
Yes.
She is the only. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I put it this way: they tried that whole stint where they were like beefing with Fox, and they tried to kill off the X-Men.
Yeah.
They were trying to push
The
Inhumans.
Inhumans. That's why we got
real hard.
that terrible show.
That's
That's why we got that terrible show, The
hard,
Inhumans.
and they
Was
just
she in the
realized
show?
that
No,
you
she wasn't
can't.
in
The
the show.
humans suck.
She hadn't
They
been
just-
created yet.
It's just not. They're not just.
So that's the thing. She has countries. You know, as far as like, who do you like? Oh, like we like the Black Panther, of course. But now to see yourself on the screen is fantastic. And if there's only one of us, hence like the father is very popular.
Yeah.
Because he's the only Arab father or Arab American father or whatever on as far as the Marvel goes. So by all means, why wouldn't they love him?
MK Pryor is saying Indian Spider-Man on YouTube. Indian Spider-Man is not Muslim.
Is that the guy from the movie?
Yes.
Like the Spider-Verse movie?
Spider-Verse, yeah.
Okay.
He's not Muslim though.
So she's got an entire. She's got countries. She's got religion. So yeah, Kamala should be very popular. As far as comparing her to Riri, I don't think it would be fair to Riri because Riri's not the only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. To wrap this up, Wolverine Solid says, just got to give her show a shot. People too negative nowadays, which he's right.
100%.
Which he's right. We're just giving our honest thoughts. Like this trailer probably could have been a little bit stronger, but I'm hopefully they got heavy lifting to do to rehabilitate Riri Williams as a character. If this show doesn't hit, the character's done. Character's done.
just like her comic.
Just like her comic. Yeah, character's done.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like, is that on us?
No.
That's just that's literally in general. Like
That's in general.
Like okay, so like Kamala got support not just from Arab Americans but everybody. They genuinely liked her, right? Black people did not like Riri Williams.
Is this a Jason Todd situation?
No.
If they could, they would.
Where they like get her out
If they could, they would. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Wow. Yeah, man.
If they could, they would. She is not popular.
So then, in that regard, is that on the writing? Like, who was that? Like, wouldn't that be on the writing? Because clearly the character's not real.
However, you could say it's the writing, but I think it's more or less what they shot for as a character. Because Riri as a character, not only she is a black teenager, a female, right?
Yep.
She's very standoffish. She comes across as kind of a lone wolf type.
Oh,
like I don't want to rely on anybody else.
The stereotypes. That's what
Yes.
they've leaned into though.
Yes. Very heavily. Like she was a part of the Champions, Miss Marvel's team, and she was one of them ones that
she was
they
combative.
could. Yeah, she was.
I mean, it's writing
so
this.
you already know.
All right,
So you already know.
To wrap it up, let's look at Legend's request there. He says, "I'd like to hear the America Chavez contrast between America and Riri." Quickly.
America's similar, in my opinion.
Okay.
Oh, is it like she's Latin America?
Yeah, she's Latin
she was
American.
already. She was in what's the name?
Multiverse of Madness.
That's
Yes,
the girl that was hopping around with
yes,
strings. Okay.
yes, but just as a character, America Chavez and Riri Williams are almost in similar levels as far as like popularity. Like they don't really like America Chavez either.
Yeah.
Like she has a unique power set. Yes,
but she's way powerful. Though.
She's really powerful, but it's just like as a character, she's kind of like
Meh.
Now, is the writing for children or is it for 18 and up?
No, it's more like teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, like Riri
that-
as a character just doesn't get support. Like none of the women supported her.
No.
No, that was that all new, all different Marvel bullshit they tried to spring on us.
They tried.
They tried. They did. Was it the female Thor, Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, Riri Williams? It just didn't work.
Right. They tried a lot of different characters, which is great. They tried giving us new characters, that were ethnic and stuff like that. Some of them hit, some of them didn't, and that's
fine.
That's what, like the new Nova that they tried to put on us, right? They took the powers that they didn't necessarily take the powers away from Richard Rider, but they basically just pushed him aside.
Yeah,
put this kid and gave him a Nova helmet, and people didn't really like him either, and he's not even in the books anymore. Like he's not even Nova anymore. Like, so again,
sometimes you got characters that stay, and sometimes you got
it
kind of like
just,
Safe Space and what was it, Snow Bunny or whatever.
You said Snow Bunny.
Whatever it is. I mean, man, honestly, we spent like 45 minutes on these trailers, talking about these trailers, breaking them down. We got a lot of content. Let's talk about some other stuff. You wanted to bring up something about Nintendo trailers. What was that you would share?
Well, so I don't know how true it is, but there was a video that somebody put out talking about you don't technically, if you get a Nintendo Switch 2, which the price is how much?
$500.
So $500, and I'm renting the license to own the Switch, which if I do any modifications to it, they can brick at any time, online or offline. And then as far as the cartridges go, as far as the games go, they say that if you were to purchase a $80 game, you're not purchasing the game, you're purchasing a key, which the key then provides you access to the license to the game that you do not own.
Man, I'm tired of this.
Look,
I don't know.
I heard about the whole breaking your system thing.
They already.
Hold on. Finish what you're saying.
They have supposedly things in the agreement that if you modify it, it's not that if you own it or not own it, because you bought it, the software that's on it, you don't own any of the software that makes the system a system. So if you do something that they don't want you to do to their software, they can freaking, hey, you can't use it anymore. So
for sure.
So that's the shutting down your fucking system because you're fucking up their software. And as for the games on the cartridge, not all the games. That was already stated.
Right.
Some games are going to be on a cartridge. Some of them are not going to be on a cartridge. They're going to be a key card. And, it kind of sucks if you are talking about the future where.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Sorry about that.
But like down the road, like 40 years from now, I was like, oh, I want to play this video game, but the Switch's network is not up anymore. I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah, because you have the physicals.
It's all going to be right here.
Right.
But if you have the physicals, they're saying that those are a physical cartridge, but when you put it in, it's just going to download the game.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I have an issue. And again, games have been going this route for a long time. If you, none of us have ever really fully read through the whole ELUA or the end user license agreement or whatever. But it's in there. It's already in there that you are licensing, essentially renting to the option to play, not the option, but the ability to play these games. That's always been a thing. The problem I have with it, and again, it goes to future proofing. It's always been something that's coming. The only games that you are guaranteed to be able to always, no matter how far down the line you get, is your cartridges. Your cartridges and some of your, obviously your old PS1, PS2 games that were, everything was on the disc. Those are the only ones that are going to be playable forever. Most of the modern games that need to talk to a server in order to basically be playable are done, period. So Nintendo doing this is not necessarily new. It's just now it's more prevalent because a lot more people are talking about it of like, oh my God, I'm paying this much for the system and they're going to turn the system off if they feel like, it's all the hype and hysteria.
Right.
And yes, some of it kind of sucks. It's like, but at the same time, it says it right there. When you buy the system, you agree to not modify the system. If you modify the system and they, brick his system, that's on you. It's right in there, black and white in there. You are not supposed to reverse engineer or modify any of this stuff. That's period. That's real. So if your system gets bricked because you decided you wanted to jailbreak it, sorry.
That's on you.
I'm sorry for you.
Totally
That's all you. Simon says, what were you about to say on it?
No, I was just agreeing with what Dr. Kuji was saying that you basically are paying for the game, but also the key to download it. So it's the same thing where it's like, how we've been doing it so far. It's just basically they're taking it a little bit further than what we are kind of like. Just like they're just now like pushing the envelope for it. That's all.
Yeah, because like almost any PlayStation 4, Xbox, PlayStation 5 disc, for the most part, the game is on there. But all that other stuff, with your DLCs, your updates, and all that stuff, because games get updated all the time.
They do.
And you just got as they call it, the vanilla version of the game. So 50 years down the line, you're not going to play it how you remember it.
Nah.
So it's going to be the unupdated if you can't get any of that stuff anyway. So the old stuff, PlayStation 3 and backwards.
Most of it's on there.
Yeah.
Even with PS3, some of that stuff needed.
Really?
Yeah, remember that's when they started getting close to that day one patch stuff with a lot of stuff. PS3 is when that all kind of started.
Towards down.
Because remember one of the biggest ones was on disc stuff with Street Fighter vs. Cross Tekken, where they had stuff that was on disc, but you couldn't access it until you paid for it. So, and again, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a prime example. That game technically is kind of worthless because you can't access that DLC anymore unless you buy it through one of the other PS4 version. There's no PS4 version truly, but
so it's like I got all this stuff on a disc and I can't even access it.
Now that's an interesting thing, and I love what both Big Kahuna is saying about they're trying to treat buying a Switch like buying a Ferrari. Yeah, they get too much and Legend says Nintendo trying to red box their fans, which that's what it sounds like to me too. It is interesting.
Why?
Why what?
Why?
Why what?
Why do it?
Money.
Because they can. It's control. They want to get the most money out of you.
Get the most. They don't even drop in price.
That's the
product. And do you still buy?
No.
Yeah, you don't. Nintendo fans do.
$80 and I'm getting a key?
I hear you.
I better get a cartridge with the game on it.
I hear you.
It should be on there, but most people with the digital stuff are paying full price for digital. And specifically, if it's on PC, you ain't getting nothing physical. But
right.
But at least you get a discount, or like it goes
sometimes
on sale.
Sometimes they do go down.
You do get the discount.
But if you're getting it day one, you paying that full price, and for PC only, everything is digital. They don't do physical, as far as I know, on PC at all. So, I understand people getting mad because I'm gonna have this disc that doesn't have a game on it forever, and I'm paying. But I've always been an advocate. Like, if things are digital, it shouldn't even be full price. You should not be paying $60, $70 for no digital game. Not all, because there's no physical. When they're done, they just upload it.
Yeah, it's a file.
You're done.
Hey guys, I know we weren't necessarily supposed to be talking about this, but this discussion about Nintendo made me think about. Remember the prolific library that Xbox Live had with all the Xbox Live arcade games?
Yeah.
How can you get those anymore?
Well, two things. First off, a lot of them are on Series X because they didn't kill everything. There's a lot of stuff you can go back to 360 and play on Series X.
Okay.
But it's not every game, mind you. It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And if something you bought, you can always still load it up and download it, if I remember correctly, on your original 360.
I got like 400 games in my my cloud. Yeah, they're there.
Okay.
They're still there. But there are games that did get deleted, like what's the name of that? Afterburner Climax, I think it's called.
That shit was great. I loved that.
I missed that.
I loved that game. That shit was great.
It's gone.
Voltron is gone too.
Voltron is gone. There's just so many of them just gone.
You've
not
got
physical.
Like 400 games.
You said 400. It's not 400.
1,000.
Yes.
You've got 1,000 games, and you miss Afterburner.
I missed Afterburner Climax.
You've got 1,000 games.
That is true. But out of one game that you can't download at all, and it's not physical, it's
You've
gone.
got 1,000
I want them all.
games.
I want them all.
It don't matter though. Go ahead.
That's funny.
Look, you got a house with like with 30 bathrooms. They're never going to be all utilized.
This man, it's never enough for this man.
I wanted to buy that game and play it back then because Afterburner is a pretty fun game.
Yeah,
I missed out on it.
Now I still have it. I still have it on my old my 360 Pro.
This guy doesn't play video games.
On my 360 Pro hard drive, I still have Afterburner Climax. It's on there, but no, it was a fun game. I mean, it was a quick beat. You can get through it like in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the point. It was just a fun game that you could pick up and put down, right?
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm sorry that you missed out on that, but it just made me think this whole Nintendo's conversation. What happens to these games that get deleted? You don't have any other recourse to ever. Go ahead.
if it's Nintendo, they ain't getting deleted. The way Nintendo's moving forward, you're probably going to be able to still access the stuff. They had a hard time doing that in the past because if you look at the Switch, the Wii, and the Wii U. Now, I didn't buy many games on the Wii U, so I don't know if they were integrated, if you can go backwards and forwards. I know the Wii U was backwards compatible with the Wii.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility there, but they killed that store because they could have kept it open.
Yeah.
But the Switch still has its store. Switch store, if you've ever looked at it, it's like Steam.
Yeah.
It has that much stuff on it.
It's a
And I
lot.
think that's how they're going to be starting moving forward.
I think that's their, again, because like you said, it's a service that you got to pay for. So that's their version, like you said, of Steam, where it's like, hey, you want to access this, especially if you want to access the games that we all consider good, like the N64 and the higher tiers, you got to pay more. So I get where they're going with that. But to his point about the Afterburner game, I hate when a game truly just disappears off the face of the earth, because that's part of the reason, like I said, I don't like when Netflix movies never get a physical release, because down the line, some of those Netflix movies that are Netflix exclusive they're just gone. They're literally going to disappear. There's no other way to watch them unless you downloaded it and kept a digital copy of it somewhere. Like for what was the one they did, Red Notice or whatever. That's only on Netflix. There's no discs of that anywhere in the entire world. Again, that's an example. Movie's not the best movie in the world, but I don't like when stuff becomes you can't find it nowhere.
Did you mention that that interactive movie Bandersnatch is getting ready to leave Netflix?
No, not getting ready.
It's gone already?
Gone the 12th, if I remember.
The 12th?
correctly.
Oh, May 12th. Yeah, it's gone already.
It's gone.
Like any of the interactive stuff that they had on Netflix is out of here.
Do you believe in the Jack Sparrow way of things?
Absolutely.
No, I understand that.
I'm asking him. Do
I
you
get it.
believe in the Jack
I
Sparrow
have no
way of
problem with it.
things?
If you get it how you get it, I get that's not an issue.
How you get it. I love that.
But the thing is, like for example, we've this has come up in conversation off show for the last couple of weeks. One of my favorite movies was The Count of Monte Cristo with Guy Pearce and
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Was
the problem is
with Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill is in it as a younger man.
That's very younger.
Yeah, the problem I have with it is I have the DVD of it. The Blu-ray exists, but it's pricey because it's out of print. You're getting back to that whole thing with Dogma. Dogma's getting a re-release finally because what's his name is in jail. And he was being an ass, dude. He did not want Kevin Smith to be able to buy the rights from him. Some fan of the film bought the rights for Dogma.
Oh, wow. They gave it to him?
Wait, who's in jail?
Weinstein.
Doofus.
He owned the rights.
The doofus.
Freaking Dogma.
Fallen Marvel is checking in on YouTube. He says, hey guys, there's no regulation on what corporations can charge. That's partly the problem. Nintendo easily made Joy-Cons $80. I'm good on the Switch too, he said.
And again, and I can understand where he's coming from. I personally am not, outside of the fact that I can't pre-order it now, I'm not getting a Switch 2 on launch because for me, I personally don't even have enough Switch games to make the backwards compatibility function worth my $500 or $450 or whatever it is. I can play all those games on my Switch right now. I got about 10. He clearly has a lot of Switch stuff. He's going to get a lot of play out of his Switch 2 when it comes down, regardless if he's playing the new stuff or playing his old stuff. It's just I'm in a different market for it. I didn't get a Switch until the OLED Switch came out.
Same here.
So I mean, it's I'll get one eventually, but as of right now, I don't need to have one because I'm not the person that's going to get a lot of use out of it at this moment. Down the line, some years later, absolutely.
Yes, I got kids asking me. Man, we getting
again, that's a whole nother thing. But like for me, normally under normal circumstances, if I want a game system, I'm pre-ordering it, doing all the stuff I need to do. But the Switch is just when we watched that Nintendo Direct a few weeks back, they just didn't have enough new software that would have made it worth my while because again I don't have a library of games to plug in and play the upgraded versions and all the other stuff.
So Metroid didn't sell you, huh? Metroid.
Again, I love Metroid.
Metroid is fun.
Yeah, exactly. Metroid, Mario World, Kart World, and I think there was the Donkey Kong game. That's 3 games. Yes, they're potentially $80 each. That's not enough to equal out to that $500 for me.
What's the threshold you need? The amount of games that you need. No. I'm asking him.
The threshold for all of my game systems has always been taking the games at full price.
Yeah.
I need enough games added up at full price to equal or be greater than the price of the system.
So we're talking
then you
like
have enough
12
software.
Games. Maybe 11 or 12 games.
No, not at $80.
Switch.
Okay.
Switch 2. Switch, I'm not really too sure because I
5
don't remember the
games.
launch.
5 or 6 games.
PlayStation 5, 4, and the series, none of them had strong launches. Not a one.
Okay.
Most of for me, that my observation is most of the people are looking at the potential of, because like PlayStation 5 had jack shit. And it had jack shit for about 3 freaking years.
But you know what
But
sold
everybody
it?
was buying the potential of what's coming. And that's what's going on.
That and the I think because when it launched, Ghost of Tsushima was a free upgrade. Spider-Man, Miles Morales was a free
Last
upgrade.
of Us.
Yeah,
and then
Last of
God
Us.
War.
You know, had all these free upgrades.
Like you said,
It's
a
about
lot of
the
old stuff.
current
Right.
generation.
Right.
So, like, to me, like, and I get 100% what you're saying because it's the games. It's always, I've argued this for ages. It's always about the games and the gameplay, really so much that drives to what you want to play.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't know. I get everything that you're saying, which is like you don't have enough to get on it, but like the potential, the future of it, because if it's supposedly as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro, you're getting some friggin', you're gonna have some amazing looking stuff. They might even
in your hand.
Yeah, in your hand. So they might squeeze a Grand Theft Auto 6 on that and just put one. They might put one or two blades of grass, like those little blades of grass over there. It's not in there. The Switch version,
Right.
it doesn't have it doesn't have the ray tracing in it.
It'll look like Grand Theft Auto 4.
Right.
Maybe.
Which isn't bad.
No.
Which isn't bad. Let's not be crazy now.
I'm sorry,
Which
not
isn't bad.
4. It'll look like Vice City.
Okay.
Wow, it go
Whoa.
that far.
Wow, bro. No, wait. All right, hold on. So I don't know how much more we had to talk about. Did you guys have anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? All right, so I want to touch a little bit on something that Legend said. Me and him have gone back and forth about this a number of years. Separate news, in the Disney upfronts, Kristen Ritter was officially announced coming back as Jessica Jones, Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
Cool.
That was a rumor. Everybody pretty much thought it was definitely going to happen. But specifically talking about what Legend is talking about here, and me and him used to have this argument back in the day. He always thought that a lot of the Marvel characters should be in movies, and movies only, over TV shows. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. I said, how are you going to say that you would rather have 2.5 hours worth of content in movie form over 12 or 13 hours of content where you can fully flesh out a story? Because his thinking was the grandeur, the scale of being in the movies and stuff like that, which I get in certain aspects. But I always said there's certain heroes that don't necessarily need the movie treatment. They're better served on TV. Daredevil was one of them.
For sure.
Right? And seeing how well it performed on Netflix and has been resurrected on Disney Plus and is doing great. What do you guys say to his argument saying that these characters should be in film over TV shows?
What year was this?
This when we were arguing?
This back and forth started.
When we were arguing about this? Man, shoot, this was like 2019, 2018, 2019, something like that.
In that time frame, how much did they say an episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was?
Oh, that was way too much.
Few million, man.
It was more than a few
Yeah,
million.
more than a few. I was being generous.
Double, I believe 2030, like it was up there.
Correct.
So I'm saying all that to say you are getting a movie. They just have it in episodes because they're spending over 12 episodes, probably $200 million over those 12 episodes. So you're getting, the investment, you're getting the character development that you spoke of, you're getting, the better lights, you're getting the movie feel, but just in episodes. So I mean, in 2019, did we even have Disney Plus?
It was on Netflix. It was on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
They were getting to the point where they were starting to ramp up and build it up, but it didn't exist yet.
He might have won the argument had COVID not happened. But once COVID happened, the entire world changed and streaming, and we couldn't go to the theater.
Correct.
So I would imagine, if you're a studio, you're thinking, how are we going to get all of these ideas we have out to the people if they can't go to the theater? So stream it right to their home.
Okay. I know that's fair. GQ. What do you say?
I always am going to look at it as the story decides with the medium. There's going to be times where like you can have a quick two and a half hour movie and get it done. Infinity War shocked the hell out of all of us seeing it. The amount of stuff they fit in, the amount of actors, moments, everything that they did in that film, and they pulled it off. It was amazing. And obviously that technically had 2 parts because Endgame was up.
So a side note to that, Infinity War benefited from 10 years worth of buildup.
No. It absolutely had buildup. I'm not talking about the buildup, but I'm saying for a lot of people, that much story, that much stuff going on beyond just the buildup. I'm just talking about the film itself and the amount of stuff that happened in that film. Some people are like, oh, I needed that to be more of a series. And the Russos pulled it off. And they filmed that within that contained time, had you care, granted, buildup was included, but had you like feeling for what was going on in those moments. Once you get to something like WandaVision can never be a movie.
No, it wouldn't work.
It's going all over the place. You need that to be a series.
Yeah. Sure.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Depending on how you edit it, you could have made that a film because it kind of felt like
that could have been a movie.
It kind of felt like it was a film that was
cut up,
lengthened a little bit and chopped up a little bit. But it's like I look at it as if the story dictates that you need more time to tell it, put it on a TV show.
Right.
If the story dictates that, if with really good editing, like we've been talking about earlier, that one guy Patterson cut of Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett and various stuff, sometimes you can make a film out of something that is a series and you just need to cut out some of the fat. So I look at it as it works based on the story. You can't. There's no right or wrong. Like for example, Spider-Man on TV. Marvel might just say he's too big a character to put on TV. He's a character that we need in our big tentpole, franchise films and blah blah blah. That just might be how they look at it.
And I think I think it's partially, and not to speak for you, man, but I think that's kind of what he was getting at, is that he felt like these characters were worthy of being tentpoles in the theater. And I disagreed. I felt like some characters were more deserving than others. We've argued about Batman not being able to be on TV, even though we would love to see Batman be on TV.
Would work best on TV.
For
as
sure.
one
I think he would work really good.
What you call it? I think it would.
Yeah. I think he would too. But I can see the argument that Batman as a character is so large that he deserves that level of respect.
Because he's better than Falcon.
Oh shit!
Well, hold on. Not even to get.
I wasn't making the argument that he was better than Falcon.
Not even to go down that road. Not even to go down that road. Anyway. Just to wrap this one up real quick, and I'll obviously let Dido say his thing. I just want to just jump in on that, what you just said with Batman. For Batman, who started on TV, even before the 60s one, he was a TV character.
Yeah.
I look at it as the studios, once they started making bank after the 89 Batman, because that's where they made bank, they saw it's like, no, he needs to be on the big screen because he can draw in millions upon millions of dollars. And that was just, going off of the first 2 Tim Burton films, that was the blueprint. And he was the one keeping DC alive during that time because Superman had already fallen off.
He was DC.
Yeah, he was DC for a very long time. So I get where, no, we're not putting him back on TV because he's lifeblood right now.
Real quick, interjecting. Sanju from YouTube, first time commenting that I've seen him. Thank you for being here on the show.
Appreciate you.
He says Deadline reported Thunderbolts director is going to direct X-Men. Thoughts on that?
We'll see.
There's a lot of mental health going on in that mansion too.
No, that's true. Wait a minute. What else did the Thunderbolts director do? I have no idea. Simon, do you have any input on what do you think the Thunderbolts director doing X-Men? Would you rather him or I'm sure you'd rather have Coogler, right?
Yeah.
I heard actually Iguana Man said earlier he would prefer the Russos do it. Now, and I was going to say to him earlier, and I didn't get a chance to say it, but we can't have the Russos do everything.
Exactly.
Like, we even though I think the allure of having Coogler do X-Men, if it was Coogler, is that it would take him a little bit out of a comfort zone. He's usually been steeped in the culture, presenting the culture, and by the culture I mean black culture on the screen, and he's been prolific at it. Great. Can we take him out of that, put him in the X-Men where he has to do multiple ethnicities, right? Not just black people. He's got to do white people. He's got to do Asians. Sometimes, Latinos, Native Americans.
But he has to do mostly the mutant aspect of racism.
Correct. Which we know he knows very well.
Yeah.
right? So I think that's good. He says, MK Pryor says, would Blade be as popular as he was if he had a series first? You can kind of take a shot like they did with Blade or Iron Man.
Look,
would Blade be as important?
Blade
tried
was,
it.
Look,
Sticky fingers.
Yeah, that was after the movies. But Blade was a fluke. We didn't know that Blade was going to be that good because Blade, I mean, Wesley, he was at his peak back in the 90s, period.
Yeah.
So just him getting that. But them putting together the story that they put, and on top of that, having the music that they put in there, and Wesley, nobody saw it coming. That's why I call it a fluke. Nobody saw it coming at all.
Not at all.
That it was going to be. It's kind of like the Matrix, and I hate to say that nobody saw the Matrix coming at all. And then you get Blade. So if a TV show of that came before the movie, I don't know. I mean, when I look, if you take that story of Blade the movie, you could put that in a TV show type thing. It's just him investigating longer than just driving around the block for a night and a half.
Right.
So.
No, he's right though. Like Blade in and of itself is within a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it just. Yes, could Blade work that way before? Maybe if you got the right stuff, but they did a TV show of Blade, like you said, with sticky fingers.
That shit was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad, bro.
But I don't even think like that was a. Yeah,
You can't redeem that.
They could do a show, but that's what I'm saying. It's them trying to milk the culture without utilizing the culture. Like there is nobody. Yes, like I understand Sticky Fingers was on TV shows. He did movies, but there was not one sane person that was like, "This is gonna be great."
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
So
Wasn't Goyer involved in that? In that TV show?
Exactly.
I hear you.
the ruiner of all things.
Yes,
comic book related.
Yes.
But I do think Blade could do well in a series, whether they use Mahershala, whoever they decide to go with.
Man.
Because, you look at all the vampire shows that are out now and how popular that is to have had Blade. You look at the movie Sinners.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
the guy who came back in the Coogie's sweater could be Blade's dad. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many ways that they could do it.
Yeah.
But it's just, as you said, seeing the script, seeing the project. Does this belong on film? Does it belong on television? And just having the right people do it. And to your Russo point, if everything they do is Winter Soldier and or Endgame, fucking keep it coming. Keep it coming. If it's working, then I would rather that it work.
But at the same time, you love to have other voices.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
Yes, the Russos have an immaculate track record when it comes to the MCU. I don't think they've missed yet. I don't think there's been one project they've had that has missed. You can argue other projects that they've done outside of the MCU didn't work out so well.
True.
But not the MCU. So, yes, could they do I mean, like, I think we were all saying Doomsday and Secret Wars probably are going to be phenomenal. I mean, look at the response of the thing on the trailers. We'll see, right? But I still would like the director of Thunderbolts, notwithstanding what certain people feel about it, Wolverine Solid X. Notwithstanding, Thunderbolts was a good movie. Yeah. It tackled a very touchy subject, and I think it did it really well. I wouldn't mind it if he actually is the director. John Watts actually is a good choice. Legend said John Watts is actually a really good one too.
I think go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because we didn't talk about the supposed news that they found their Cyclops.
What was that?
The guy from
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Pat Schwarzenegger,
yeah,
Cyclops.
That's
listen,
the report. Rumor.
If you watch the show, oh my God, White Lotus. You watch White Lotus, he is an ass, and yes.
That's part of Cyclops' personality.
Cyclops isn't just an ass, bro.
That's a big part of it.
He is, and not because he's an ass. It's just. It's part of him being a leader. Okay. But that guy in White Lotus, I could see him get gut punched by Wolverine 40 times. so yeah, but yes, I think he would do well, and he's young enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, real quick, just on one last thing before we close it out for the whole picking a director or a showrunner or whatever. One thing that I've noticed, a lot of people are like, you need a fan of the material. You need somebody that grew up reading it or watching it or whatever.
Yeah.
If you look at Andor and Rogue One, the guy that did that was not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, Tony Gilroy. No, he had never watched Star Wars at all.
He was not a Star Wars fan, and he's given us some of the best Star Wars ever. So it's not always necessary to have somebody that's dyed in the wool a fan, because sometimes you get that other perspective of like, look at it from this angle and tell that same story, and then treat it as just straight cinema or good television or whatever that just happens to take place within this universe. Go ahead, Simon.
I'm gonna have the last word.
Yes, sir.
Bryan Singer.
What?
He wasn't a fan.
What?
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't a fan. Correct, but
He also made it in a time where they weren't making.
it wasn't comic book accurate, so no one really cared.
No. His X2 was freaking phenomenal.
It was good. Yeah,
his
it was
his
good.
X2 was good. The first one you got to introduce a whole bunch of characters and a whole universe and a whole concept of mutants and all that to a new audience. X2 he cooked. I don't care what nobody says.
So speaking of, we got to wrap up the show. We want to thank everybody for joining us on the show. One of the things that we didn't get to touch on that we wanted to touch on was the series finale of Andor that just happened yesterday.
Next week.
We watched it all. That'll give you time to watch the last 3 episodes. But I know you have thoughts. We talked about it earlier. I know you got thoughts. I know you got thoughts. We'll come back next week. We're going to wrap up Andor. We'll touch on a bunch of other things that we didn't touch on this week. We want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us today. We had a great time entertaining you all, whether you were on YouTube or you're on Twitch. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, and I'll come back here. We'll be clipping up pieces of the show to entertain you, and you can kind of share those clips with your friends and kind of let them know about Culture Nuggets, and they can come back and
kind of let them know. Share.
Yeah, share. Make the share alike. Yes, indeed. So, for my friends, the Great Adakuji, GQ, Simon Says, and
Mega Sean,
I'm Kishiro. See you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace out.
Yo.